Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Philo. I'm under here. Hi, how are you doing? Today we have Miss Robin, my wonderful co-host, who has the gift of gab
Hello.
and knows more about comics than is feasible by most humans. And my co-artist today is going to be Dale Cipperley, who knows more about art supplies than most humans. And so we also have Cat Cam today with Archimedes and Cat Cam. This is Dale doodling before the show, and then this was where we left off with the last comic. So I haven't built the pages yet. I've really slacked off this week. I've been building a robot instead. Let me put me
Slack
in.
bot.
A
Yeah,
slack bot.
yeah,
Building
yeah,
a robot is the opposite of being slack. I mean, come
yeah,
on.
yeah. And
Well,
so
unless it's a lazy robot.
this is the robot I built this week, which is why no one got my annoying emails.
What's he
Today.
made out of?
He's made out of wood.
Nice.
And so, yeah, but he's a music box. Like, look, he has light inside, right? I just don't have a battery, so I can't show you the light yet.
What does he play?
And then I don't know the name of the song, but it's da 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 da. It's like a 1960s song.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The
Anyway,
way we were? Send in
Yeah.
the clown? Very cool.
wait. Yeah, look.
That's cool. I like
See?
the fact that it has
I love it. It's adorable.
I like the clear dome because that's
Yeah.
a shout out to Robbie and B9.
Yeah, exactly. And he can like stick his arms up and stuff.
He's
Yeah.
beautifully articulated. Nice.
But I colored him with marker.
Okay.
And thank you very much. Yeah, I colored him with marker, and so he the time was spent in the coloring.
Is it those new Sharpie artist markers, or just ink markers?
What I was just using were Copics, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like how it looked with the markers because it looked like a stain.
Yeah.
It's real, and you picked some of my favorite colors, which are blue and pinks. Like any shades or versions of blues and pinks, I love.
Yeah. Oh, just a sec. Oh, that's a new button. That's cool. I just realized I lost myself, so I'm gonna have to drop Cat Cam for a little bit. All right, let's get to where we were.
Archimedes.
As soon as I find my glove, let's get to where we were. So, what happened last episode, is I only have the every other one, but everything is going to Meow's plan. So, Dale, where you left off with Meow's plan, this is him thinking of his plan. And so he's going to grab them all. He's going to use the Where vending machine portal to get back to Philo and commence his love with her. Because he has like unrequited love with her. And then so
That's the best.
they go through the portal and they end up in a tall tower. And this is them falling, and the tall tower is Meow's headquarters, where they end up going through the portal. So the group ends up in Meow's headquarters, and so
here we go. Okay, you tell them that part.
yeah, I don't have Kay's panel set up yet. I still need to build the page because I've been a slacker this week. But they start going through Meow's mixtapes. He keeps
He has he has 1 million mixtapes of unrequited love to Philo.
Yeah, that he's made for Philo that were never sent or never acknowledged or whatever. So they start listening to the mixtapes and having a good old time with that. And then I'm trying to remember what happens. Yes, Meow tells his spies to go look for them because they when they went through the portal, he lost track of them. The portal that they went through was a toilet. That because they were plunged. Anyway, so the spies look all over Meow's compound for the group. So this is them looking over the compound for the group.
Okay.
They attack the spies. and then they wear spy clothes so that they can walk around unknown in Meow's castle.
Blair.
Yes, and so
Headquarters.
so the spies that were attacked, I guess they were cats, but now I drew the spy versus spy people, but she drew cats, so I guess there could be like a lot of people around them. I don't know. But yeah, that's where we're at. And I got to make my new panel. So what's going to happen next?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking everybody.
Yeah, it's just a general question for everyone.
And what are our heroes searching for in the tower?
I imagine that they were just looking for a way out of the stomach realm. They may not even know that they're in Meow's castle yet, except for the fact that they beat up some spies.
Should they encounter Meow as the spies?
Well, that's just it. Would Meow recognize them?
I think maybe keep them at a distance from each other so he thinks they're the actual spies.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, "What are you doing over there? Come back over here so we can do what we need to do." And they're just like slinking off.
So
yeah, we're looking for them, boss.
I'm going to draw a panel where they explore the castle, and then for panel 2, Dale.
Okay, I'm listening.
I think Robin's idea is pretty damn good.
They should run into Meow,
but like from a distance, like at the end of a corridor, he sees them.
Yeah.
Okay. Does he recognize them or not?
No, he thinks they're the spies because they're so far away he can't tell that they're our guys.
Okay, and the guys.
And then he'll be like, the
guys don't want to be discovered.
What are you doing? Keep looking. And they're like, okay, boss. And then they jettison out to the left or whatever, exit stage right.
Okay, I think I know what I need to do. All right.
Okay, yeah, excellent. Yes, the group explores Meow's lair.
Okay.
Have you named your robot?
I have not. The colors were picked by my daughter. And so she's like, I want it pink. I want it blue. It's like, okay, it's going to be pink and blue.
My favorite.
Yeah.
A woman after my heart.
Yeah, pink is like her new color now.
So I have some big news.
Oh, what's that?
I've finally decided to publish a comic. But I have to be honest with you and say it's oh, hi Ian, somebody showed up.
Oh,
and they're paying attention to the storyline.
Oh, thank you. Yay. Let's see, where's that? Next comes the epic fight between the guards and the gang. Yeah, hi Ian. He's on YouTube. Should be on Twitch.
What's the difference? Like, what does it matter where they are?
Well, so
watching.
The reason why I want them on Twitch is because I'm very, very close to affiliate on Twitch. And I could have grabbed it this week if I streamed twice, but I didn't because I was a slacker. And now my numbers.
You're allowed to have a life outside of this.
Yeah, and anyway, but as soon as I'm affiliate, then it adds a button to your page, which is subscribe. So right now people can follow me when I stream. They can see that I'm online. They can, see what I'm streaming, check in and everything like that. When they get followed, they get like extra stuff that I make for followers. They get like, emojis or whatever in chat, whatever I set
like
up
a Patreon.
Yes, but that's just it. It's a pay. So they, it's like I could set it to like $1 or $3, whatever, so you can become like a tier 3 follower for a month and support me on Twitch. And so it would just be another revenue stream. Oh my gosh, Dale's like actually drawing a lot faster than I am, so I'm gonna put him up.
So Dale, I have to ask you something, because the comic that I've decided to publish is all of this work by this artist named Bricks Squick. And you're a friend with him on Facebook. And I wonder how much you've talked to him.
Who are we talking about?
His name, he goes by Brick Smith, but also Bricks Squick. I can't pronounce. He's in Brazil. The tattoo artist.
Okay,
Hi, Meep Beep.
We're gonna have to talk about that because I'm terrible with names, and I have a lot of cartoonist pals. So this could be someone that I met like at an event and we friended. So let's talk about offline.
That's okay.
But I don't know off the top of my head.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Sorry, I got lost there. It's okay. You're not late. We were late, Meep Beep, should clarify. And yeah, we can talk about it offline, no problem, Dale. But yeah, I've noticed that you've liked and commented a bunch of his stuff. So, and it's true. Like I know him online as an artist too. Like I don't know him very well. It's all like not even in real life kind of thing, right? So.
I don't know if I live in real life anymore.
You have to finish a book, so you forgot about this. It's okay.
You guys, I watched a little bit of your morning podcast there. What do you guys call those your mornings? What do you call that? The Earth space?
Are you talking about that crazy thing that I do with Chuck Whalen?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what do you like? What is it called? Not like the name, but like what?
My ass is what it's called.
A pain in the ass. No, but like it's not a podcast. It's like a live stream. You call that like a live stream, I guess. What we do is like a live stream. Yeah. Okay. I'm just clearing that up. You made me laugh when you said that he was gonna get a gorilla and put it in a Dale suit.
Yeah. He makes fun of my religion.
Absent, I watched a movie, so I'm really sorry. It's okay. You can watch a movie. You're allowed to have a life. We were just talking about that because I built a robot.
What book did you have to finish? Which movie did you watch? The Golden Morning Stream. Hey, Jeremy. Wow, people are starting to show up. We were late, and everyone's also late. Good timing, everyone.
Usually I send out like a ton of messages to people because we're so late. Like I sent one to like Jeremy because he usually shows up. Thanks, Jeremy.
Oh, okay.
Nice. And then I pretty much I posted on Facebook. Like I didn't even get it on my Twitter or anything. Like I have like no links today. So this one's gonna be secret episode.
But you guys said this morning, Dale or Chuck, I don't know who said it, but somebody said that you were going to have Stephen Notley on tonight.
No, my schedule for Steve Notley, 6/22. So he's going to be on next week.
Oh, I want to see that.
Yeah,
cool. And I haven't seen him in I think since the year 2000.
yeah, and so he's decided to do this insanity with us, and I'm hoping that it's he's a fast artist. I'm pretty sure he is. He's been doing Bob Dang.
He'll be funny, whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. Like I imagine Bob might show up, right?
Oh, true.
Yeah, I'm sure Bob will show up.
Bob the puppet.
No, Bob the Angry Flower.
I just said Bob the Puppet Flower.
Oh, well, he used to wear the head thing. Remember?
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like the petals of the
baby
face.
head.
Yeah, and then he sticks it over his face so he has the petals for Bob. And then he becomes Bob.
I just thought by this point he'd have a puppet of Bob.
I don't know. We could talk about it on air. Why don't you have a puppet yet? Okay, so I assume this morning's show is called The Golden Morning Stream with Chuck and Dale. That's according to Ian.
You watch Babadook? Ooh, isn't that's a scary movie, isn't it? I don't like scary movies.
Oh, you're not a fan of scary movies?
They scare me.
Oh yeah, we had this discussion. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, I can be like, it's not that I'm not a fan. One of my favorite directors is David Cronenberg, but like, things scare me. I get scared. Like Junji Ito, I don't read his comics anymore. I read one, and I got so scared. I can't read anymore. Al Columbia is a really good comic book artist, but his stuff scares the living shit out of me. And I just like I have an overactive imagination. I'm one of those people. Like I saw this little TikTok or whatever where this guy was like turning off the lights in all his house, and he was about to go upstairs, and all of a sudden this man all dressed in black started chasing after him, and I was like, oh my god, I feel so seen. Like when I'm going upstairs and it's dark, I'm like so prepared for a scary person to be running after me.
Yeah,
I just have an overactive imagination, so I can't watch those movies. They scare me.
Yeah, it you know, I love scary movies because I love the effects, and I know it's a play.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, Tucker and Dale is a great movie. Alan Tudyk is so funny. Yes, Tucker and Dale versus
It is.
Evil. Yeah.
I think, isn't that one Canadian?
I don't know.
I was so lucky because when I lived in Montreal, they have a film festival there every summer, and it's like the best film festival ever. It's called Fantasia. And they would have like Asian movies and anime and cartoons and comic book movies. And then like, of course, the big thing was horror movies. And that was where I didn't watch it, but I saw it advertised for the first time, was the Tucker and Dale was in that catalog. Because every summer I would you get the catalog of all, like it's thick of like all the films that are going to be shown, and you just I've kept them, like they're memories to me, these books, because first of all, the art is amazing. They always get a really good artist to do the poster, and lately it's been Peter Ferguson, who's really good, and then you just pour over all these international exotic movies. Oh, it's so good.
Denver Fan
I love Fantasia Fest.
Denver Comic Con is coming up pretty soon. Yeah, we're gonna go to Denver Comic Con just for one day, just to like check out the merch floor and stuff. I don't even think I'm gonna head to any panels.
I'd be curious to see what's going on in Denver. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's.
Did I tell you when I went to the Hamilton comic show that I went to last weekend? Their library is like half of it's like a flea market, butcher shop, cheesemonger, like huge sort of like, market next, like it's in the same building as the library. It's awesome.
Jeremy says, I'm heading to FlameCon in Baltimore. FlameCon. I don't think I've heard of that one.
Why is it called FlameCon? Baltimore. That's cool.
Yeah. Baltimore is the city of glass. Because
why?
During the turn of during the Industrial Revolution, they had so many glass manufacturers there that it became the city of glass. Yeah. FlameCon is an LGBTQ.
FlameCon is awesome.
It's so hot.
So then the FlameCon in Baltimore is the same thing. Nice. I'm jealous. That's going to be a great party. At the Hamilton Comic Convention I was at, I was moderating a queer comic panel, and there were some excellent cartoonists in that panel. There was only 3 of them. There's this woman, Morgan C. She's a trans comic artist, and she did this really cool sort of like choose your own adventure zine fair lady comic. And she's a really good artist. And then Emmanuelle Chateauneuf, who's like a queer cartoonist who has a really heavily influence of anime, but has definitely got a style of her own, which is why I really like her art a lot, because I love people that have a distinctive style. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like it when it looks like everybody else's work. And the thing about her is she grew up in Sault Ste. Marie, I spent my teen years in Sault Ste. Marie. And she was all like, are you a recovering drug addict? And I'm like, no. It was a horrible small town, I agree, but I was only there for 3 years in the 90s. I survived somehow without becoming a drug addict.
Yeah.
But I guess it got worse. And then the third person was Eddie Mumford, and he's the writer of for a group, like a comic book collective. They're called Grotesque Comics, and the artist is really good. His name is Jonathan Kasiak, I believe, or Anyways, their new comic's called The Convoy, and they're doing a release, I think, next week in Toronto, and they're making it's like a karaoke comic release. I was like, oh my god, that sounds like so
Ian
much fun.
says you're not an addict if you can control it.
Yeah, that's what they say. Apparently, Baltimore is really hot right now because my coworker's daughter is living there, and she was saying that it was boiling there right today. Today we had a nice breeze up where I live. I bike all the time now, and it was a good bike ride home.
Nice. Wow, you're biking. You're working.
Sometimes we get shitty wind.
You're biking. You're working in a very physical job. Like, I hope you're staying hydrated, my friend. Yeah.
I try to. Did I ever tell you about the time I fainted when I first moved to China?
No, but it sounds like an interesting story.
Sure is. So, I'm in China and I'm very bad about hydrating. Like, I've always been really bad about hydrating. That's just the way I am. I just don't drink very much, period. I hate water, but I've gotten better. So it's really hot there. Like, it's super humid. It's like South American hot, humid, like a fat man's hugging you all day hot. And I'm waiting to go to my tutoring gig because after I teach at kindergarten all day, and then in the evenings I'd go tutor. And I'm at the bus stop and I faint and from dehydration. I'm starting to come to, and I'm on the concrete and I'm looking and I see a tree and I'm like, why is there a tree in my bedroom? And then I'm like, why am I lying down? I have to go to work. And then I realize, oh my God, I've like collapsed on the pavement in a foreign country where I don't speak the language. And it's just like, oh my God. And there's a Chinese man next to me and he's screaming at me and nobody's helping me up or anything. And I'm just like, in Canada, right? People be like crowding around trying to like, are you okay? Could someone call 911? You know what I mean? Like, people will be helping. But I learned that in China, they don't help because then people turn around and get sued for it. So like this Chinese man's like screaming at me and I'm just like, oh my God, do I have a concussion? What the hell just happened here? And so my Chinese friend, she came and she got me. She took me to the hospital. When we were, the guy gave me 2 CAT scans. Everything's fine. When we were leaving, she's laughing. I'm like, what's so funny? She goes, he totally scammed you. He gave you 2 CAT scans. You only needed 1. Yeah. And I was like, why didn't you say something?
Yeah, I was wondering that.
But okay, whatever. I gave this doctor extra money. Yeah. And in China, though, like, the doctors don't make very much money because it's like a communist country, right? So they like work for the government. They can't make extra buck as doctors, right? It's a totally different story. And then the best thing that I loved about being at that hospital, I have other stories about being at that hospital that are just as whack. But my last favorite part about this story was when you go down to get your drugs and your medicine, when you go to a Chinese hospital, there's like 2 separate sections right next to each other. And there's like the booth where it's like you get like your medicine, your regular drugs, like Tylenol or whatever, ibuprofen, whatever you're getting, right? And then there's the next little booth is like all the traditional Chinese medicine. It was awesome. And so they give you like these little pouches and they're full of like little balls that smell absolutely horrendous. And of course you have to like drink them in water. Yeah. But it's supposed to be good for you.
Yeah, there's a big thing in Chinese medicine about the difference between cold and hot liquids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cold water, hot water, good for healthy is what I heard all the time. Whenever I said like anything, and like when you're on your period, they freak out if you have like ice cream. You know what I mean? Like, you're not allowed to have ice cream when you're on your period. Yeah, it's hot water is a big thing there.
Yeah, but I remember Anthony Bourdain went there and he saw a traditional Chinese medicine doctor, and like the doctor was basically saying, yeah, you're drinking too many cold liquids. You need to drink more hot liquids. And more fire in your life. And Anthony Bourdain was like, okay, like he didn't really get it.
Well, did I tell you about the gutter oil? So I lived there for 3 years, and my first 2 years I did pretty good with the food, and like I like tried a lot of stuff. Like, there's a lot of Chinese food that I really, really liked. Especially, I was in the Sichuan province, so there was like lots of yummy food. But by my third year, I don't know what it was. Like my stomach really had a hard time dealing with a lot of the food. And my friend would give me like these, I think they were carbon tablets, and they would like help settle things, or maybe they were charcoal. I can't remember what they were. Yeah, it was charcoal. And then when Chinese New Year's rolled around, I stayed home the whole month because you basically get 3 weeks to a month off, right? And everybody goes. But it's insane that day because literally the whole country leaves to go back to their hometown. So like if you can imagine like the New York airport, whatever the busiest New York airport is at Christmas time, and then times it by 3, that's what it's like when everyone leaves for Chinese New Year. So I stayed home and I made all my own food and didn't eat out at all. And my stomach was fine. And so then when I went back to eating Chinese food again after everyone came home and we were all eating out again, and I started feeling sick, I went to the doctor, and he was just, the Chinese doctor was Western food. Like, no, it's not.
Sure
and so when I was like researching going to China, I saw this like 2020 special about gutter oil. And what it is they, in the small towns, and I was in the outskirts of Guangzhou, so I wouldn't be surprised if this happened.
I'm going to pause you for a second, okay? Because we're on panel 3.
Yay!
Right. So the group explores Meow's lair, and then Armand rushes. I don't know what Armand's doing. Can you back up so I can read the caption? Can you back up so I can read?
Me?
Yes.
Sorry, I never even put the caption in.
It says Armand rushes to save them.
No. That's from last week. Hang on.
Okay.
Yeah, because Armand's not even there.
Yeah. So what's the caption?
They run into Meow.
They run into Meow. Okay.
And try to slink off.
Next comes the final fight between Meow, his guards, and the gang. Okay. All right. Final fight between Meow, the guards, and the gang. Okay. Let's see. I gotta make my panels here. Yeah. I gotta make my panels here. And I also included Cat Cam because he was just looking so adorable on there. So, Robin, did I lose you? Are you still there?
No, I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm still here. I'm listening.
Yes, so you were saying Saskatchewan province, what is gutter oil?
Oh, so in the smaller towns and in the outskirts, they'll go into the gutter and get the sewage and use centrifugal force to separate oil from the sewage.
Ew.
And then resell that oil to restaurants.
Ew.
Yeah, there's like a lot of really gross stuff that one of the Starbucks when I was living there got in a lot of shit because they were discovering that they were washing the dishes right next to the toilet.
Ew.
There's like, it's crazy. They have different ideas of cleanliness there. And the thing is they think we're crazy because they've been doing it that way for eons, and we're the young upstarts that want to use hot water to clean or want to use soap to clean. You know, they just use cold water. It's no problem.
Yeah, well, you know, there's a reason why Japan and China haven't gotten along historically for thousands of years. And I know that Japan, one of their critiques of the Chinese is their cleanliness.
Mm.
You know, is like, they're not clean. And it's like, well, compared to Japan, no one's clean.
Exactly. Let's be honest here. They're pretty anal about their cleanliness in Japan.
But it's for, you know, like quite a while, several hundred years, several thousand years. Yeah, somewhere in there. So, okay, so they see there, and then a fight breaks out. So that's my panel, as a fight breaks out. The gutter oil sounds disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that there, and I don't want to like just rag on China. There was like a lot of really cool things there too. I did like my time there. The only reason I'm not going back is it's just not really safe for Canadians there right now.
Mhm.
I mean, I know that's extreme. I know that I'm not going to get kidnapped or anything because I'm not doing anything politically questionable. But the thing is like, you know, before there was kind of like a semblance of diplomacy and between countries. And then we went and arrested their phone, that Huawei daughter of the Huawei president or whatever. She's
For
like the
America,
phone.
no less.
Yeah, and they took 2 Canadians and they came up with like 15 different reasons why they were arresting them, and none of them were true, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, if that happens, it just means that they can come up with any reason to take you, and they don't care what Canada says. They're not gonna give you back if they decide they want you, and they could say anything.
You've heard about the ghost offices for the Chinese government, right?
Mm-hmm.
That are all around the world.
Yeah.
They'll rent
Unmarked
out an
buildings.
office. Yeah, they'll rent out an office or whatever, and then they're like operating government like stuff.
It's
in
all
a foreign
spies.
country.
Yeah, no, it's all spy work.
So if somebody, you know, who say was outspoken about the Uyghurs, all right,
it's pronounced Uyghurs.
Uyghurs, I'm sorry. But somebody who was outspoken about the Uyghurs or whatever, they would be trailed in whatever country they were in by like these ghost offices.
Definitely. And the scariest thing for me too about the whole Uyghur thing is people really have no idea, but they're sterilizing the women as well.
Yeah.
On top of, you know, putting them in camps, re-educating them, but telling everyone they're training them for jobs. Like it's really bad. It's really, really bad, and it shouldn't happen. Oh, China. I have such a love-hate relationship with you.
Well, I mean, it's a very complicated place. And I think a lot of people like discount the fact that like I remember in grade school, right? We're learning about Greek civilization. We're learning about Roman civilization, stuff like that. And I remember raising my hand and asking my teacher, well, what was going on in China at this time? Right? Because
Nothing.
I was just curious,
Jeremy.
right? The thing is a lot was going on in China at that time. Like,
yeah, but then you wouldn't know about it because it was like communist cut off. They're not like,
they don't talk about their past as much. And I mean, they have records.
They will, but it's all propaganda.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the past, but it's all like Mao did this for us and Mao was so great. But you know, when they show that meeting between Mao and Nixon, that meeting set China back for like 30, 40 years because it created this insane famine that no one could keep up with. You know, millions of Chinese died. They don't even have a number. They think that Mao is responsible for more Chinese deaths than any other dictator in the history of time. Because what he did when Nixon came was he insisted that they send all the wheat and all the crops from other provinces to where Nixon was going so that Mao could brag and say, like, look at how productive we are. And then all those provinces were without their food.
Yeah.
And then he started saying, you know, you have to start smelting and making metal for in our industry. And he insisted that everyone stop what they were doing, whether they were educators, farmers, you know, drivers, like whatever they were, they had to stop what they were doing and they had to start making metal and smelting and melting things down. And nobody was trained to do it. And everyone was failing at it. But that was that was the decree. You had to do it. And all those other jobs like went fallow. So especially things like farming stopped happening. You had years of students who were not being educated. Like he destroyed the civilization in so many ways. Oh, I get so passionate about China. Sorry.
You know, I have to admit that like a lot of my exposure to like Chinese history and stuff is like kung fu movies. You know,
well, that's Hong Kong, right? All of those are Hong Kong.
Not all of them. There's a lot out of Shanghai, and there's a lot out of there. I forget the name of the town in China. Let me see if I can find it.
Do you guys want to look at my panel and tell me if I'm done?
I think you're done.
Yeah, I like it. That's a lot. Holy cow.
So my
I love the
panel-
chandeliers.
Yes, that's a lot of detail. So my panel after is they are going to be fighting. A fight breaks out. So what happens after the fight?
Well, is this the epic fight oh no, it's not the final fight yet. We still got a ways to go. So a fight breaks out between Mao and them. Mao's figured it out?
The panel of the fight, so...
Who's fighting who?
You're drawing the fight right now.
Yes.
And who are they fighting? Which characters?
Yeah.
It is our crew on the right fighting with Mao and his spies and his like cat minions on the left.
Okay,
So
you saw the
Okay,
robot.
so even though Mao saw them and they were slinking away, Mao caught them. So we should probably mention that. Like, haha, you can't get away.
Did you
or something.
see the robot sentries that I drew on either side of Meow and my panel?
Go back to your panel.
Okay, hang on.
Ian.
Where is my panel? I'm going to zoom into them.
So yeah, they didn't succeed in their escape. All right.
So they're robots wearing fezzes.
Okay, that works.
I thought that might help you as the guards because they're easy. They're just easy to draw.
Mm-hmm.
They're cute.
Okay, I'm going to go back to a blank panel. If I can remember how. Okay. And what am I... So am I drawing the aftermath of the fight, during the fight? Am
I don't know. I think that a fight should last more than one panel.
I think because of the way you draw, I think what you should draw is like it's a big cloudy scene where everyone's beating everyone up like in a cartoon, you know, like that big cloud.
Oh, you want the cloud with the stars and like people.
Yeah, but then in the cloud, you've got like 3 spaces, and in each space it shows like a battle between 2. Does that make sense?
Well, normally it's just like an arm or a head or half a body out of the cloud. But I can do that, sure.
Well, our cloud is going to be giant because look at how many people are fighting. Usually it's between 2 people. And so this giant cloud will have room to show 2 to 3 scenarios within the cloud. Maybe just make it 2.
I'll make a fight. And
you'll make them itchy and scratchy. Fight.
I'll think of a fight. I need to figure out what to call the. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna call the fight. What the what's the caption?
So the robots, they have like skull heads?
They have just big round, you know, kind of like the glass dome on. I'll draw one out for you. Give me a second.
No, don't draw one out for me, okay? Work on your panel.
All right. Jesus. God damn it.
She can just enlarge the panel you did, can't she? So she can see them again?
I don't have it on there.
Oh. Hey, Dale, do you know the artist Kaza from Heavy Metal Magazine? Or sorry, Metal Hurlant?
You'll have to remind me. I'm gonna write my caption as fight.
Okay.
And no, because I'm terrible with names. You'll have to remind me of the art style and the story.
My stoner memory doesn't remember the comic. I just have the comic in my head. Let me Google it.
Okay.
But one of my friends online had a quote from Hans Zimmer talking about how much he loved that artist.
Are we talking about Hans Zimmer, the composer?
Yeah, Hans Zimmer, the composer, was like, when I was in my 20s, I would just get high and read Kaza comics, and it inspired my music. Like, you wouldn't believe.
Is Kaza comics, does that mean Mexican comics or
No, he's a French comic book artist. Caza.
Caza? No, it's
Felipe Caza.
No, I don't know it.
Although Felipe is very Mexican fan. Alright, well, Wikipedia is slowly loading. When I see a list of the comics that he's done, I'll tell them to you. Because there's at least 3 that I have. But he was always in heavy metal, like, all the time. That's when I saw him. But yeah, I had never expected Hans Zimmer to be, like, that deep of a comic book fan. But it makes sense. I mean, like the 70s.
Robin Williams was a huge comic book fan. And
yeah, he was, actually. I know people who have stories of him going into their comic book stores.
Yeah, and that's just it. Is like he would go into comic book stores in weird little random towns just because he saw a comic book store and he wanted to see what they had.
Or he was doing a movie there and he wanted to go to the comic store.
Exactly, but he usually always bought stuff because he always liked to support comic book stores. Mm-hmm. And so what he did once is he bought like 5 different copies of the artist works of Kabuki from one guy who owned a store, just so the guy could have a big sale, right? And then he gave out those copies of Kabuki as Christmas presents that year.
Nice.
And so he's like, here, I think you'll like this comic to, friends of his that may have never read comics or did like comics but never read Kabuki. And so it's just it's a cool little story. Jim
Kabuki was like
Shazam, Captain Marvel.
Kabuki was like the only comic where I bought the first issue, and when I went home and read it, I literally went right back to the comic book store and bought all other issues of it. But it was only the black and white one that had come out at that point.
I only have the first 3 trades. I need to pick up the Commodium.
Well, Wikipedia just told me all his titles in French, which doesn't help me at all, because I should just go out to my collection and look at my European shelf, because it'll be there. Alright, might as well take you guys with me.
Yay! We get to go on an adventure!
You can see some of my house.
Yay! I get to see some of your house.
It's just too bad I can't really see what you guys see this way because of the way it is. Okay. Well, I guess the first thing I can show you is a wall of romantic posters.
Let me put you in the big window. Ooh, romantic posters!
I don't know what you guys are seeing. I'm hoping you're seeing the romantic posters.
Yes, we're seeing the posters.
All right. Next 40 miles.
Yeah.
Turn the light. Oh, I got this Erica Badu superhero poster.
Nice.
My giant ska poster. And my Johnny Rotten poster. And the start of my comic collection.
Nice. Just some of your comics.
Up on the top shelf, I have like all my toys.
Nice. Jeremy says he's drawing Supergirl from My Adventures with Superman.
Nice. I have that Supergirl. That's the Evan Dorkin one. Okay, but let's go look at the European comics. More toys. Okay, that's my kitchen. This is my shelf of comics. Now, this is the Euro shelf, so I should have some Kaza in here, I think. I got some Trondheim. I got some Enki Bilal. Let's see, I got some Black Sad. Oh, what's that Black Sad? I don't remember buying this Black Sad.
Which one?
This one, A Silent Hell.
Oh, that one's good. Yeah.
I don't feel like I've read this one. What the hell?
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah,
reread
that
it.
one's good. That one's
Yeah,
good.
let's see here.
The only one that's not translated into English yet is what is it? It's red red something.
But Diana Schutz has been translating them. There's a new one coming out really soon. I swore I had a
Red
chasm.
Soul. Red Soul is the name of it. It's not translated into English yet.
The house.
But I've seen the artwork from it. And it's just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, they are really beautiful books. I love them a lot. I have 3, now 4. I have 4 of them. Oh yeah, I can't find any Kaza. I thought I had some. I probably just only have him in heavy metal, but he's really good. Take my word for it, he's really good. Let's see what else. You want to put me on the big screen again? I'll show you more of my comics.
Yeah, sure.
It's easier for me to see. Oh, there we go. My Terry and the Pirates. Those are my books. Oh yeah, here's a big shelf of toys.
Nice.
Lots of them. Over here, do you want to see my Star Wars shrine? It's not completed though. My Star Wars shrine is not finished yet. See here.
What? What's missing from your Star Wars shrine?
Oh, I have like a whole huge shelf still to do. So there's my Leia pictures. And then my action figures.
Nice.
And I got a Leia shelf, but I still need a second shelf of all my secondary characters. And what else can I show you? Oh, here's my shelf of Marvel comics. More of my toys. Hellboy, my fashion books, and my superhero toys, Disney toys. Yeah, I don't know what you guys are seeing, but anyway. Toys. Lots of action figures anyways.
Yeah. That's it's interesting because every nerd's house looks the same and different at the same time.
Yeah, it depends on the toys.
Yeah, it's like, full of toys and stuff. Like Jim Gaffigan was talking about how he was working in his office, right? And this Jim Gaffigan is a very, very funny comedian. If you don't know, who he is.
I know who he is. Yeah,
and so he writes for a lot more than a stand-up comedy. He does jokes for late night. He has been working on a book for a while. Other things. So, he has an office where he can shut the door. He can be weird with himself in a safe space and then, let the comedy come out of that. And he was talking about like what his office looks like in an interview. And he said, oh yeah, I got, my Star Wars toys. I got this, I got that. And the interviewer, I want to say it was like David Letterman or whatever. He's like, what? You have toys in your office? Like, that's not professional or whatever. And Jim Gaffigan's like, yes, but I have adult money to buy the toys.
Yeah.
Your choice what you do with the money, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, but the way that he was like, yes, but I have adult money to buy the toys.
Yeah.
Here, I'll show you this last cool poster.
Do you know who Guillermo del Toro is? The director? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my shadow. Oh, it's not going to work out. My shadow's
He had a traveling show a number of years ago.
I saw it. I went to it.
Yeah, so that
of his curiosities and stuff. Yeah
he had
no, it wasn't his curiosities, it literally was his house superimposed into this art gallery.
Yeah, and he had all these things that he had collected, and they also had quotes by him up on the walls, and one of them was, the point of being in, I think it was your 40s, is to get all the things that you wanted when you were like 7. And they completely explained the entire exhibit. And I understand that a lot. In fact, I have an example of that. I'm going to have to turn off the camera and get it. because it's too weird. The conversation went this way. Give me a minute.
Okay. Oh,
What
I guess
did I tell
on
you?
with me on the big screen.
Did I tell you about Guillermo del Toro's Edgar Allan Poe reading room?
Yes, that with the stormy windows and
Yeah,
everything.
that was part of that exhibit. And he had like tons of stuff from his movies there, but he also had like every issue of Creepy and Eerie. He had all this art from various comic book artists. Like my friend Dave did a giant painting that you see as soon as you walk in the door. And he had like amazing sculptures. He had like fashions from his movies, like some of the dresses. Like there was this black tulle dress from one of his, I think it was called the Crimson Tide or the Crimson Fold? Crimson something? Crimson Peak, yeah. It was this black tulle dress that had butterflies in it. Like not live ones, obviously. But, that exhibit was fantastic. I saw it at the Art Gallery of Ontario.
Nice. Are you back, Dale?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get my ass in the chair.
Get your gorilla suit on?
No, that takes a while.
I just think it's funny that like I actually had a job interview to wear a gorilla suit and get paid for it. And Dale said the gorilla suit was not up to standard. That's pretty good. That's pretty cool. What is that?
This is my
nice.
Well, I've got to finish the stand tonight. I bought a museum stand. So I've got to trim the wires. It is a Buck Rogers atomic disintegrator. So we're talking about being able to afford the adult toys.
Has that one been on your bucket list for a while?
This is my dad's. Tomorrow's Father's Day.
Oh, you didn't give it to him?
Yeah, that was
nice.
That was his toy ray. Not that specific one, obviously.
Yeah.
But that was the ray gun toy he had as a kid.
That's very cool.
My buddies at Time Tunnel Toys in San Jose on Meridian, Joe and Sharon, who run the San Jose Toy Show, they helped me with that. And I've got to finish the stand tonight. And but yeah, I mean, but adults buy toys all the time. It's just the culture is you're supposed to buy a sports car or a boat or a trophy wife or something incredibly stupid like a machine gun. But there's money in toys, selling them to adults for nostalgia. And,
that's for sure.
Yeah, I'd rather have the toys, to be honest. Or they get into fountain pens. That's a horrible addiction.
Yeah.
Well, the action figures is a horrible addiction too. But I tried to stop. I've been trying to stop, and it's not easy. It's really not easy.
I don't know if
I've been trying.
I found like a kick-ass action figure store in Union City. Sabrina and I went to Niles, and there's a used toy antique store called Toy Trauma. And after we went to Niles, we were trying to find something to do.
You and me both, Jeremy. You and me both.
And
Jeremy, that's weird. That's a weird story because I read a story where Jim Henson gave Frank Oz a Bert puppet, but when you looked into the eyes of Bert, there was a picture of Frank Oz naked because Jim had asked Frank Oz to pose naked earlier in the year, and Frank was like, "Why?" but did it anyways, and that was why. Oh, that's the same story. Oh, and so it had little Bert toys around him. Oh, okay, I forgot that part. Dale, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just didn't want Jeremy to think we weren't listening to him either.
I'm trying to remember what the hell I was talking about. Oh, no.
It was the toy store that you went to that you really like.
Yeah, we went to Toy Trauma, and then we were trying to figure out what to do next. And I was Googling just some, cool stuff. And I found that there's a a toy and action figure place and comic books in Union City, and it's called, I think it's Comic and Figure Addict. And we follow the Google map, and we end up in some sort of industrial park, and we're like wondering where's the store, because we were expecting a retail store. And then Sabrina sees this little sign in a window. So like we're in front of this warehouse like collection of buildings. We park, we go in, there's like a little tiny lobby, and then the thing opens up into this enormous warehouse full of new and used action figures, like
Nice.
a bazillion pops, you know, old kaiju Godzillas, brand new in blister pack figures from Star Trek to Planet of the Apes to Popeye to Charlie Brown. And that was that day that I called you.
Yeah, that you're like, oh, what's that toy that you want?
Yeah, because you had needed like replacement wings for one of your figures.
Well, yeah, my Goliath figure, Annabelle had played with, and she had loosened the wings so that they didn't stay in anymore. So I just glued it.
Well,
I glued them in place, so they're fine now.
it was a neat store, and I'm sure if anyone just Googles action figures Union City, they'll find the name of the place. But I was impressed. And
My new favorite. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
They recognized me.
What?
Yeah, because they go to the San Jose Toy Show. They recognize me through the show. But go on, Robin. You were going to say something.
No, but that's pretty cool that they recognized you. That's excellent.
Yeah, I go to too many toy shows.
Is that really a bad thing?
For my wallet.
Yeah, for your wallet. I hear that. What was I going to say? I've forgotten now. Oh, yeah. I was going to say that Hamilton is fast becoming my favorite city. And the first time I really went there, I was picking up a 1980s Barbie doll that I wanted. Mm-hmm. It's like this glow-in-the-dark 1980s Barbie. And someone had it on Facebook Marketplace. So I was like leapt at it. And then I was like, well, what's around this where she lives? And there was a toy store called Retrosaurus, and it wasn't very big, but he had like a bajillion like G.I. Joes, Transformers, like a lot of the boy stuff, but some of the girl stuff like My Little Pony and Gem, I didn't really need any of it. He had an amazing collection of old 60s comics, so I bought a ton of those. I think I was showing Amber like the S. Clay Wilson and stuff that I got. And then when I got back home, I was like, well, what other toy stores are in Hamilton? I have to go back because I didn't know about this one. It's called Two Gay Uncles. And it's a freaking toy store. Like it's an action figure store. And of course they got tons of Barbies and all sorts of stuff, but they've got a ton of neat stuff in there. And I was like, okay, these guys, I got to become friends with these guys. This is awesome.
That's cool. Yeah, we have a few used toy stores. We've got Toy Trauma in Niles. We've got Time Tunnel in San Jose. We've got Hadbro in Capitola.
You got a lot of selection though, because it's a pretty big population out there.
Well, I'll tell you the one that's the best that I've seen, the Bat Cave, and it's in Santa Rosa. It's not a far drive away from the Shoals Museum. It's in downtown Santa Rosa, and I was talking to the guys there, and I go, how in the hell can you guys survive as a used toy store in Santa Rosa? And they told me, Napa has money. Napa's not that far away.
Yeah.
And
the right age demographic as well, right?
Yeah. I recommend the Batcave in Santa Rosa. That's a cool place to visit.
Well, I recommend being a toy nerd living in China because I went to 2 toy conventions in Hong Kong, which were just excellent, beyond excellent. There's this toy store in Hong Kong where they have a display that's like huge. Like, I can't explain how big it is. It's like the size of a room and the height of a room, and there's like a billion figures, things you've never seen before, and you're not allowed to take a picture of it. They're like very adamant about it. The toy that I got when I was there was one from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which my friend had shown me like ages ago, which was really cool and gay, and I was like, this is the coolest manga I'd ever seen. And since I've moved back from China, it's now become like this massive hit over here, JoJo Bizarre Adventure. If you're like into manga or anime at all, most people know what that is now, which is kind of cool. They have streets that are nothing but toy shops, like literal streets in Hong Kong full of toy shops, and it's all like half of it's knockoff stuff, but half of it's like really interesting. When I was there, I got 2 knockoff Legos. They are Lego. They're Lego, okay, period. But they don't have the Lego trademark, but they're they're not cheap. They're not they don't look fake except for the lack of Lego symbol. They're really good. And they're Star Winners and Star Warts. But they were 2 Star Wars Lego packs I got. And then, you'd go to like they had this mall, I forgot what it was called, but it would be like the mall that supplied all those like crane machines and like pretty much any kind of store that sold anything. That store was in this mall. And so I would find like all this weird toy stuff. Like I found a baby Hellboy at one point. I was like, this is so random. There's nothing else in the store like this. Like, what? It was interesting to be a toy fan in China.
Well, I mean, with all the ejection molding, I mean, a lot of it's done there.
Exactly. Things are falling off trucks.
We lost a cat in cat cam, so I dropped the camera.
What, you murdered a cat?
No, he just jumped down. He's going.
Okay, what's happening in the story? We're having the fight.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that! That looks excellent, Dale.
Here, let me put Dale on the big screen. Yeah, Dale. Hey, can you zoom out so I can see? Nice. I like that.
So there's so much going on. I love looking at everything.
Yeah, and so I'm still working on my fight too. So
fight.
Yeah, we may not get through that many panels today, but they're complicated panels, so I don't feel too bad about it.
I have one of my other collections is like kids books, and like Eric Carle has this. He's got that kids book about the hungry caterpillar that's quite famous. He's got some other really good ones where it's like counting ducks based on like this shipment of rubber ducks being lost at sea. But he's got this really old one about the grouchy ladybug, and it's like this it's the weirdest story. I'm like, I only kept it because it's so weird. He like goes around the world and he's like asking all these different animals, like, hey, you want to fight? And each time the animal's just like, okay. And it like the animal gets bigger and bigger. So like it starts out like a fly, and then it becomes like, a bird. And then he goes and asks like a cat, and eventually he asks a whale. But I'm just like, why does this ladybug want to fight everyone? It's such a weird kid story.
Well, obviously it meant something to him. Maybe he had small bug syndrome. You never know.
Well, I mean, obviously it probably came out in like the late 70s, early 80s, so it was a different time, but hey, you want to fight? And eventually what happens is he goes and asks the whale, and the whale doesn't even realize he's there. And the whale like smacks him, and he ends up flying back to the original ladybug that he challenged to a fight. And then he was like, well, I guess I'll just be friendly instead. Like he changes his mind. He's not grouchy anymore.
Let's see. All right. There we go. I'm almost done. Like giving my guys some background here. I just used
my only criticism is the robot needs to have like a full torso, because he doesn't have a skeleton spine and loin.
Well, okay.
Because Dale did this thing where they have the body like that, right?
I did
know what I mean?
sort of a Jetsons ripoff.
Yeah, like a Jetson robot, not a skeleton robot.
Well, there's different types of robots.
Okay.
Jeremy said a while back, I'm hoping to visit Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Why? What's in New Mexico? Is there a Jim Henson museum or something cool? I'm not making fun of you. We all love Jim Henson in this group.
Damn right.
That's like, I don't have a lot of pop figurines, but that's one of them. I've got Jim Henson and I've got like Bill Nye.
I got the two robots, Robbie and B9, and that was it for me.
From MST 3000?
I haven't gotten those bots.
What are the bots that you're talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry. We were talking about pop figures.
Yeah.
And they made pop figures of B9, that is the name of the robot from Lost in Space.
Oh, Lost in Space. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know that movie very well. Or no, TV series.
It was a series. Yeah.
And then
Yeah, TV series.
there's another robot that is similar to B9 because it was designed by the same special effects guy called Robbie, and it was in the movie Forbidden Planet with famous Canadian Leslie Nielsen.
I've not seen that either. I have heard of Robbie the Robot, but I would be hard pressed to know what he looked like.
All right. Wait. I gotta interrupt you guys.
Yep.
Fight. Then what? Jeremy, you gotta help us out.
Okay,
Jeremy, use your love of Breaking Bad and Jim Henson and come up with a cool idea.
Yeah, come up with a cool idea for us. What happens after
Okay,
the fight?
Am
Do
I
they
done
get captured?
Am I done with fight?
Yes,
You might be
you're
done
definitely
with
done with fight.
Yeah, I think you're done with fight.
I would not add any more.
Though I have to say the cat getting strangled in the corner is like probably my favorite.
Okay.
In it, yeah. Okay, so what happens after fight?
I like the alien getting bonked on the nose.
Well, that's
Yeah.
supposed to be Philo.
Yeah.
Philo.
that's
Well, Philo, to me, Philo is an alien.
Oh, okay, sorry.
He comes from television.
I know you don't want to call him an alien, but I think he's an alien.
He could be an alien. It's just Philo. His antenna were originally like TV antenna, like rabbit ears.
But wasn't My Favorite Martian had the same kind of TV antenna ear thing?
Yeah.
Let's see. They end up in the desert driving down the road. After the fight,
They Thelma and Louise it.
they Thelma and Louise it out of there. I don't know. Maybe the fight spills out on the street.
Well, they're in
Yeah,
the
but
tower.
we established where, I forget, did we establish where Mao's lair is on the outside?
No.
Because isn't he like in a big tower? What if he's like on Mars or something? We don't know.
The car needs to come out. You're looking up at the tower, and the car needs to like bust out of the top of the tower.
Is the car alive? Like the car in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, the taxi.
What's the
The
name
car,
of it?
the car was trapped by Mao, and he somehow manages to escape, and he decides to take our intrepid crew with him.
Let's see.
Or the intrepid crew's the giant fight manages to free the car because
Benny
he's trapped
the
in this
Cab.
room.
Benny
Benny the Cab.
is the name of the character. Okay. So they're fighting, and who has the upper hand at the end of the fight? Is it Meow? Is it our group?
Our crew.
No, it's Meow. Because
Why?
if it isn't Meow, why do they escape?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Jeremy says, or maybe during the fight they trigger a bell and it causes an explosion. So we
And the
have that
explosion
from.
gets the car out.
We could do the explosion.
Oh, I know.
Wait. What? Because it's my
During-
panel, then it's
during
your
the
panel.
fight, on the wall of the hallway or room that they're in, there's an emergency thing that says break glass for taxi.
I love that. Okay.
And it's
okay.
it's like a compressed, like a life raft.
Yeah, awesome. And then the explosion happens when they leave the tower, because it wouldn't an explosion be a kind of Breaking Bad moment?
Meow.
I don't know.
To escape the tower and leave our heroes there.
So I have breaks glass for taxi for mine, and I think for yours they take the taxi is your caption.
I really like the image that you had of them breaking out of the tower, soaring through the air, like an explosion behind them in the car.
Is it our heroes that leave, or is it Meow that leaves?
Oh, that's a good question. See, I want our heroes to leave, but if you choose Mao, that's like a totally interesting story.
Why would Mao abandon his own base?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's a more interesting story if Mao does it.
Okay, so Mao takes the taxi. That's your caption.
He sees that the fight is not going in his favor, so he decides to escape.
Meow.
But there has to be an explosion. If people are not making meth, there needs to be an explosion.
Okay, I'll do Meow escapes.
All right. So I'm going to put the hammer.
Just put the tides have turned, comma, Meow, so Meow escapes.
Okay, hang on a minute.
Because then that makes it easy to understand why he's escaping.
Give me a second. I hate the text tools in Clip Studio thing. I really effing do.
Maybe it's not so good on a tablet, but it's not too bad if you have a keyboard.
It's just me using the stylus. No, I actually have a show and tell.
You have a show and tell?
Yeah. Last week, Chuck and I decided to go see Joe Sick up at the Cartoon Art Museum. And so I went and I picked up Chuck, and we got stuck in traffic because we didn't realize the Juneteenth parade was going on in San Francisco. So we were stuck in traffic like an hour to get across the city to the Cartoon Art Museum. And Joe Sick draws a, I guess you call it a fanzine, but it's really professionally done, called When We Were Trekkies. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Put it on the big screen. Open it up, please. I want to see the art.
Well, this one's sealed. I got this one as a, I got it as, so I have a backup as a gift for somebody, but I also got his coloring book, if you can see it.
Yeah, I just want to see more of the art. These are just poses. Oh, is that Jack Kirby on the cover? That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting.
And the interesting thing about it is he's doing all this on an iPad using, oh God, what's the name of it? It's Adobe
Procreate?
Fresco. So I recommend Googling Joe Sick and When We Were Trekkies. But we had a good time. We were talking to him. He was talking about he's going to try to do a kids thing, a fanzine targeted for kids. Then he's going to do one that's kind of medical, that's it's for older guys, which because Chuck and I are older guys, we're just fascinated to see what he does with it. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't know if he wants it talked about yet.
I'm sure we'll hear about it when it happens.
Is it finally the graphic novel about erectile dysfunction that we were all waiting for?
Close.
They're going to mansplain it forever.
They're going to mansplain it. Hey, baby, it feels better without a condom.
No. Joe Sick's a good guy. He's a really good artist, actually. I'm impressed by his work.
So, what did you see at the exhibit that you hadn't seen before? Because don't you follow him online?
Well, I follow Chuck and I have met him a couple times at cons, and we thought it'd be just kind of cool to go down there and, like, you never know who's going to show up at the conventions or the Cartoon Art Museum. So we thought we'd just go down and show support, and then we picked his brain on how he worked and what he was working on. And also Cipperley, who's the director, was there because Andrew Farago, the curator's on some sort of trip. And we liked Cipperley. We talked to her about various things about the museum. And the Pinoy Power show, which was an exhibit of Filipino cartoonists, that they took down, and they had this amazing collection of stuff from someone's personal collection, one of the founders of the museum. So it was like it was originals like Bill Griffith, Phil Frank, Gilbert Shelton, Dave Sheridan. And, I'm looking at an original Freak Brothers page, and I was just freaking out.
Right.
I was...
Steve Martin owns the cover to Weirdo number 8, drawn by Robert Crumb. It's the first time I'd ever seen a Crumb in person. And there are lines he draws on his originals that could never be reproduced in print. Because they're just so fine.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it was fantastic. If you've never seen the cover to Weirdo number 8, it's this head with like all this hair kind of coming out of it. And at the end of every single hair, it says zap.
That I didn't know.
So it goes zzz, zap, zzz, zap, zzz, zap all along each one. And I don't think that reproduced when they printed it.
No, because I don't know that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, again, I saw it in person. Steve Martin had some pieces from his private art collection at an exhibit in Vegas that I got a chance to see. And so he had I'm trying to remember all the ones that he had. He had a Francis Bacon. He had a Picasso. He was, he's showing off his collection and stuff, but I loved the Weirdo number 8. Cover. Like that was for me. But yes, I realize I have you in the big window and not Art.
Well, he was showing us Art.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Okay, so who's escaping? Is it our heroes or Meow?
Meow.
I thought it was Meow. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Okay, that makes things a lot simpler for me.
Meow. Meow.
Okay.
Here, that's kind of what I'm doing here.
Dale, did I show you my Dave Cooper art?
Ooh, Dave Cooper.
No, I don't think I have.
I bought a t-shirt, so he sent this.
Nice. I wonder how many hundreds of those he had to draw.
1 billion.
Yeah.
Hang on, I didn't see it.
No, it's only for the people I think that bought the t-shirt.
Okay, I'm trying to put you in the big window because Dale wanted to see, but it's okay.
Oh, sorry. He's in Paris right now promoting his new comic, his first comic in like 22 years.
Yeah.
All right, put me in the big window. I'm ready.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, there it is.
It's Eddie. His character Eddie.
Nice.
Actually, if you like Dave Cooper, there's a really cool music video by this Canadian musician Danko Jones. And it's animated by Nick Cross, but the animation style is all Dave Cooper. Like, it's his characters.
Now, did I tell you guys? No, I guess I didn't see you because I wasn't here last week. Did I tell you that I ended up getting I bought a paperback of Sergio Aragonés at Half Price Books, and they had a sketch of his in it.
Nice. No, I didn't hear that at all.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, 1983. And
Was it like a Mad collection of comics, or?
It's one of his old Mad paperbacks.
Was it for someone? Was it dedicated to someone?
It was dedicated to somebody. It's his old school style where the shoes are part of the legs.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that it's original. And I also ended up, I was at, what's the name of it? Recycled Books on the Alameda in San Jose, and I was looking at the Phil Franks. I have all his books, but I decided I would take a look. One of them had a sketch in it by Phil Frank.
Nice.
Yeah. I had some luck this week, or a couple of weeks ago.
Scott McCloud does that. You know, if he sees copies of like Understanding Comics or something in a store, he'll pick it up and he'll just put a sketch in it and then put it back on the shelf.
Good for him.
Yeah, there's a lot of cartoonists that do that. I know Zach Sally does the same thing. And then gosh, I'm trying to think who else. Oh, Eric Banned Book Club. What's his name? The guy who created Banned Book Club comic?
Forgive me, you gotta remember.
I don't know who that is.
Let's see.
Leland Merrick?
Banned Book Club, Ryan Estrada.
Okay.
So, yeah, Ryan Estrada, he does that too. If he sees a copy of one of his books on the shelf, no matter where it is, he'll pick it up and put a sketch in it and then put it back on the shelf.
Good for him.
Yeah, I have not had that opportunity to catch one of my own books in the wild, but I think I would do the same.
My books aren't in the wild anymore, unfortunately. I was in one book that was my claim to fame that I am officially recognized as a bad writer.
Yes?
There was a guy who was a professor at San Jose State, and he created what was called the Bueller-Lytton writing contest. And you submit a terrible opening sentence for a fictional novel. And I would enter. I never won, but my stuff was bad enough that it was in a couple of his books.
Nice.
And I would tell people, you know, I'm officially a terrible writer, and I had that as evidence.
Yeah, the only writing contest I ever won was you had to take a famous poem and turn it into a limerick. Do you want to hear my poem that I won?
I would love to hear your poem.
There once was a girl named Lenore, and a bird and a bust and a door, and a man with depression who asked lots of questions but only received nevermore.
That's
Yeah. Yeah, so I won like $200 for that.
Good for you.
Sweet. Good
I don't
deal.
know if I win a writing contest. I've been featured in the college magazine a couple times, says Jeremy. Good for you. Yeah, I don't even remember what the contest was for. I just remember like, yeah, I won. My second submission was, there once was a man named Will who went tromping up over a hill. He spent lots of hours going gaga he spent lots of hours writing about flowers. This was years before TV, but still. And yeah, and so that one didn't win. The other one won.
I used to write poetry in the early 2000s. One day I just decided I wanted to be a poet, and I sat down and wrote lots of bad poetry. Stuff about cats with flamethrowers and...
Sounds like pretty vivid poetry to me.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, my shrink told me that writing poetry is kind of an engine light, like a check engine light on your psyche.
Okay. If
Right?
you're writing poetry, it's a check
Yeah.
engine light.
Yeah. Oh, it's an escape valve.
Escape valve's different than a check engine light.
Well, it's
Check
just,
engine light implies that something's instantly wrong because you're writing.
there's some sort of pressure in your brain that causes you to write poetry. Normal people don't write poetry. They just go to the office and work.
Yeah. I don't know. I still write poetry. When Ian and I first got together, I used to write him sonnets because he was an English teacher. And he actually is going back to teaching next year.
Should
What?
we like put on the Van Halen song "Hot for Teacher"?
No. But I think that these are going to be the last two panels because we are at time right now. But I'm going to continue drawing. You're welcome to continue drawing with me, Dale. But I'm just going to be working on this last panel.
Well, I'm just going to finish this one.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm probably going to head out in a couple of minutes and go to sleep.
Okay.
Good to see
Yeah.
you.
10:30 is rolling around quickly, and you know how I roll on a Saturday.
Oh, yeah, I know.
That's metric time because you're in Canada.
Yeah.
Did you need military time?
Metric time. Aren't you like base 10? Like it goes
No.
to 10.
I'm only 3 hours ahead. 2 hours ahead. It's Pacific time.
No, he's making fun because you guys use the metric system up there.
It's true, we do, and I know he's making fun.
Yeah, it's funny that you should say that because when metric was invented by the French, right? They had the revolution. They wanted to throw out all the weights and measures of the monarchy and like create their own system, right? That included a 10-hour day.
Yep.
Right. And so they created this system for a 10-hour day, and it was the one thing of metric that didn't catch on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder what a 10-hour. No, it would just feel too short. No one wants that.
Well, I mean, you would have longer blocks of time.
Yeah.
You would just have fewer of them.
Good night, Jeremy. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Night, Jeremy. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate
Jeremy.
it.
There's your explosion. Amber drew it.
I thought I drew it.
No,
sorry, Chuck.
That's Dale.
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 See, I'm a sleepy person. You have to let me go to sleep.
Than I am.
I know you're Dale. I'm sorry, Dale.
That's
All right.
I've called you Dale many times.
So
I'm so sorry.
This is what I have, which
Right.
is break glass for taxi. And so I have them like looking over, and then Dale, can you zoom out so I can see the car?
Excellent.
Nice. That's
I
awesome.
want to put
Is that a robot upset that he's being left behind?
Yes.
Nice.
And I've got one falling to its death.
Oh,
Oh
excellent.
no. The poor robot guards.
I think that's a fantastic end for the episode, and I want to thank everyone for joining me today. First, I'm going to turn off panels of art, and then bye art, and then I'm gonna say goodbye, Mr. Dale. Thank you very much for being my
Thanks for joining
today.
us.
It's always
Yes.
I'm always flattered to have you guys invite me. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you coming and drawing with us today, and I want to say goodbye to Miss Robin. Bye, Miss Robin, my co-host and better half, who has the gift of gab, knows more about comics than I think is feasible by most humans. And so good night. And for you guys, I want to say good night. Have a good time, and I'll see you in the future. Bye.